I hear a lot of people, even a lot of dog trainers, say, don't let your dog pull. And I know that that's sometimes much easier said than done. Some dogs I've had have been easy to teach not to pull. Others have been very difficult. People are always looking for the silver bullet. What tool will just magically stop my dog pulling with no adverse effects? There is no silver bullet, but there is a better way. And we're going to show you today what that way is. Hi, I'm Carol. This is Thorpe, Texas, the Burke. Welcome back to McCann Dogs. Now, we see a lot of comments in the YouTube videos about why don't you use an untrained dog? Well, you think you can see that both these dogs are quite willing to pull me. Both are pretty new to their owners. Now, I would not be going for an hour walk like this with these dogs. I'd be teaching them how to walk nicely on a loose leash, and we're going to show you how we do that. I want to talk just for a second about harnesses. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about them. Number one, a lot of people say put a harness on, isn't going to hurt your dog's throat like a collar would, and a lot of people believe it's going to stop them from pulling. But you're going to see in this little clip, the minute we put a back attachment harness on, it actually encourages our dogs to pull us. They're going to pull harder because when they feel that pressure, it's actually going to cause them to pull into it. So that back attachment harness isn't going to help you with pulling. The other thing is you can see the force that's now on this. Now, yes, it is distributed across the chest, but for those short-nosed dogs that were worried about the trachea, that's pretty close to the throat. And if they're pulling really hard, it can still cause damage to that throat or to their shoulders. I also want to talk about front attachment harnesses. Now, I have taken a piece of Velcro to make a little 2-cent adjustment to my harness to show you how a front pull, no pull harness works. In this case, you attach to the front, and the way it works, her harness I have on a little loose, so you can see that it slides from side to side as she pulls. So it causes the dog to move from side to side, so theoretically it's going to teach those dogs not to pull. My experience is it does help with pulling to some extent. However, it doesn't change the behavior. The minute the harness is off, they pull. The one thing I want you to notice is many of those harnesses work by restricting the shoulder motion. So it actually, you can see the force on there as it's working. Studies have also shown that dogs usually have about 60% of their weight on their front end. And dogs that wear harnesses actually will shift that weight, so it can affect the gait. The front harnesses could also lead to bursitis or arthritis if used a long time. So it may be a tool because you're going out for a walk, you know, you've got to take your dog with you and you don't want them to pull for that instance, but it's really not a good long-term solution. We've moved inside to our training hall because I really think it's important you see this. And I'm working here with little Cheerio, who you saw outside. He is quite a puller. Now, I'm going to do a little drill, and I've got Cheerio on a collar for this because the collar is so much better at giving information to my dog while I'm working this. You're going to see in the video when he pulls that tension, he feels it immediately. It gives him very good information. And in this drill, I want my dog to even realize that they are pulling, that it is a thing. A lot of dogs are totally unaware of it. So I want him to understand he is, and he's going to figure it out because he's going to problem solve how to get a prize. The other thing about this drill that's very important is that there needs to be low distraction. There can be only one thing he wants, otherwise he is not going to work hard to figure out he's pulling on the leash and stop pulling to get what he wants. So you're going to see that when we're working this drill, that leash should be hanging down. That's a loose leash. The minute that clip comes up, even though it's not super tight, that's tension on the leash. And I want Cheerio to understand he should never move so that there's tension on that leash. So I'm going to set Cheerio up. I've got a little, a fish cube. Whoa, he wants that. And we're going to let Cheerio problem solve how to earn that fish cube. And pulling is not going to earn it. Haha, I gotcha. Yeah. So I'm not really correcting him. I'm not getting mad at him. He's just going to figure out how. I'm not helping him. I'm just walking right up. But whenever he pulls, I'm going back to the start. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, you'd like that. You'd like that treat. Oh, you just can't help yourself. You just can't help yourself. I know, that's not hurting me. You ought to try some something different. So he's got to figure out he's even pulling. Yes, good boy, go get that. And I'm going to give him a quick win to let him know the first time he didn't pull. Now, it was a little bit set up. It was sort of like, what gives? Why can't we get to that bowl? But in that second, he wasn't pulling, and I'm going to say, yes, you can go have what you want. Again, it's really important. The only thing he wants in this room is that bowl, because otherwise he'd be pulling me all over the place, and I'm not going to accomplish anything. Okay, Cheerio, let's try that again. Let's load it up. Oh, is this exciting? Is this exciting? Oh, look at that. Look at that, buddy. So let's see if he's learned anything here. Okay, buddy. I know. Good work. Almost. So I'm getting last point, but I'm black and white. Any tension on that leash at all is just not going to earn him what he wants. What a good boy. There you go. Yes. Make it harder. Yes. Yes. Okay, go get that. Yes. And I'm making a big show of letting him have that so he can see the difference. And I'm also moving in with him. I wouldn't want to send him and then have him pull and get rewarded for that. I'm going to show you this little drill with Freya. Oh, yeah. Oh, what's back there? You want that? Do you want that? Okay. Oh, not by pulling. Not by pulling. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Try that again. Yes, good girl. Okay, go get it. Go get it. You're just too fast at learning that. I'm here with Freya again, and I want to talk about what a loose leash actually looks like. So you can see, obviously now, that's totally loose. This would be totally tight. But this one, what would you say? I'm going to say it seems like it's loose, but our dogs can feel the weight of that clip. So as soon as that clip comes up, that's when I need to react. It's not when my dog is pulling my arm out of its socket. The other thing is, notice nice, the collar is not overly loose, so my timing can be good. Now, when I use the leash to redirect, remember, it's like an arrow. If I'm pulsing upward, then I'm telling Freya I want her to jump into my arms. That's not what I want. I'm also not going to do it straight back. I'm not expecting my dog to do a backward somersault. I would actually step off to the side, and you can see, even that got her attention. I'm going to add my redirection off to the side. You can see she turns just on that pressure because it's giving her good information. And then I can step back and turn. This exercise we just did was very set up, done with one distraction. But you're going to be in situations when there's more. This next exercise is going to show you how to work on your dog not pulling in any situation at all. Now this exercise is a little different. In this case, I'm absolutely going to reward Cheerio. I don't want to use food forever, same as I don't want to use a gentle leader forever. But I am going to put some value just hanging close to me. So dogs learn by association. So Cheerio's learning that hanging close to me is wonderful. I talk to him, I pet him, we play, I can reward him. So absolutely, I'm going to use a little bit of food here. On the other hand, he needs to learn what happens if he's not close to me and that leash goes tight. Again, loose leash clip hangs down. The minute it's coming up, there's tension. So I'm going to move around. Now, I'm not going for a long walk. You saw he's not ready for that. But I might go a few steps. So I'm going to teach him. Are you ready with me? Oh, what a good boy. What a good man. Now, dogs like to chase. So we're going to pull out that chase instinct. You're going to become the squirrel. You're going to move around, encourage the dog, talk to them, and touch them. Oh, what a good boy. So I'm setting him up to be, I want learning to be fun. I want him to learn what's right. What a good boy. But he's going to see some natural distractions as we're out there, and he might not be so good when he sees the distraction. So notice I just put a little tension. I redirected it in the other one. So I'm not harsh on him. I'm just adding a little, so little tugs. Now notice my leash is parallel to the ground. So picture an arrow going from the clip on his collar back to me. That's giving him information that says, that's where I need you to go, is back towards me. What a good man. Now, when he comes back, I'm not immediately giving a big yes, thank you for pulling my arm out of the socket, or feeding him, but I started to praise immediately because he was now right. Then if he can go a few more steps with me, haha, gotcha, yeah, good work. It's the gotcha game. Good work. Now he's hanging with me. He can do a couple of steps. Absolutely, I'll get back in and reward. Now, I could offer a little bit of play. I could offer food. I can pet him, praise him. It's more about timing than force. Okay, buddy? Yeah, good work. What if there was another little distraction over there? Oh, good choice. I saw that. You wanted to run and pull on that leash. Yeah, that deserves a reward. What a good man. Notice I'm always rewarding in close. I want to reinforce being close to me is wonderful. Good choice. Good work. Now, Cheerio is doing a fantastic job. If you find your dog is a huge puller, so distracted by everything, that you can't have success, you may need to go into a lower distraction environment. You know, if you're around where there's lots of dogs or rabbits, you're setting yourself up for failure. They're just not ready for that yet. So start out in a lower distraction. For some of you, you may need to go back in the house. Just do a little bit, build some value for this game. The dogs are gonna figure it out. And if we do it with the other exercise as well, they're really gonna understand what tension on the leash is all about. With my young dogs, I don't take them necessarily for walks because it's just painful, isn't it, Texas? More often, I spend the time training them to walk nicely on a loose leash. But there are times, I was camping this fall and, you know, of course, I'm gonna take her when I take my other dogs and I go for a walk with my husband. He does not like it when I spend my time training. So if I want a nice, peaceful walk, you know what? The gentle leader saved my marriage. We can go for a walk. She's not rehearsing pulling on her collar. She's not pulling my arm off. Now, I could also use a front pull harness. The only thing I don't like about the harness is one, the stress on the joints, but short term, that's probably not a factor. However, if I was to run into another dog with a harness, I have no control at all. You know, whether it's attached to the front or the back, just no control. You know, in the extreme, picture a horse. If you had to walk a horse along, where would you want to have the attachment? Probably a halter over its head, a bridle, not have something anchored to his back or his chest. You'd have no control of that animal at all. As much as that gentle leader saved my marriage on the camping trip, I don't want to have to carry a pocket full of food or be dependent on a gentle leader or a harness for my whole dog's life. And remember, with some of those harnesses, even though they're not resting on the throat, they can still hurt my dog if I use them long term. So I want to teach my dog to be able to walk on a loose leash, make it a pleasant walk for all of us. Ultimately, I want to be able to walk off leash with my dogs. If you're interested in that, check out this video right here. If this is the first time on our channel, make sure you click that subscribe button. On that note, I'm Carol. This is Freya. This is Cheerio. Happy training.